female reproductive cycle prepares the reproductive system for pregnancy, and the cycle consists of 28 days, which exhibit two hormonally linked cycles, the ovarian cycle and the uterine or menstrual cycle. Ovarian cycle refers to the cyclic events occurs in ovaries, in which consists of the development of follicles and the development of female gametes in the ovaries. However, the uterine and menstrual cycle refer to the changes in endometrial wall or the wall of uterus. The ovarian and uterine cycle are hormonally linked. This is because the events happens in ovaries are stimulated by follicle stimulating hormone FSH and luteinizing hormone LH. And the follicular tissues in ovaries able to secrete estrogen and progesterone, which stimulate the changes of uterine wall in the uterus. These two cycles occur concurrently and are coordinated over a 28-day cycle. And on the day 14, ovulation will occur, which is the releasing of secondary oocyte into the fallopian tube. Each ovarian cycle consists of 3 phases. The second phase is ovulation, which occurs on day 14. Before the ovulation, there is the first phase, which is the follicular phase. The name follicular implies the main events occurs in ovary is actually the development of follicles. And after the ovulation, which the secondary oocyte will be released into the fallopian tube, there is the last phase, which is the luteal phase. Luteal implies the events occurs in ovary are mainly regard to the development and degeneration of corpus luteum, which is the temporarily hormone-releasing tissue. There are 3 phases in one uterine cycle, and the uterine cycle monitors the preparation and maintenance of the uterine lining, or endometrium. Before the ovulation occurs in ovary on day 14, there are 2 phases observed in the uterus of a female, which are menstrual flow phase and proliferative phase. During menstrual flow phase, the endometrial wall ruptured, and the ruptured tissue will be discharged out of the female body. The first day of menstruation refers to the day 1 of a new reproductive cycle. And proliferative phase means active cell division occurs in the uterine lining to generate the endometrial wall. So during the proliferative phase, the thickness of endometrium increases. After the ovulation occurs in the ovary, the uterus proceeds to last phase, which is the secretory phase. During this phase, the endometrial wall will increase in the thickness, and the thickness will be maintained for a period of time. And at the same time, the blood vessels develop along with the secretory glands. This is the typical characteristic of endometrium during the third phase. Active secretion happens in the uterine lining. The events occurs in both ovarian and uterine cycles are controlled by hormones, and both cycles are hormonally linked. What occurs in female reproductive cycles are stimulated or triggered by gonadotropin releasing hormone, or GnRH secreted by hypothalamus. Tropin releasing hormone, or GnRH, will be transported in blood flow and stimulate the target organ, which is the anterior pituitary gland, to produce or secrete follicle stimulating hormone, FSH, and luteinizing hormone. Both FSH and LH will be transported in blood flow and reach at their target organ, which are the ovaries. Both FSH and LH will stimulate the events occurs in ovary or stimulate the ovarian cycle, and the tissues in the ovaries able to produce estrogen and progesterone, which are the hormones secreted by ovaries and target the uterus or trigger the uterine cycle. I would like to begin the discussion of female reproductive cycle by relating pituitary gonadotropins, which means the hormones produced by anterior pituitary gland, with its effect on ovaries or with its effect on the ovarian cycle. Okay, we start the first phase of ovarian cycle, which is the follicular phase. Hormone GnRH will be secreted by hypothalamus and stimulate the anterior pituitary gland to produce low concentration of FSH and LH. Even though the concentration of FSH in blood is lower than the LH, but it able to stimulate the follicle growth in the ovary. So this is the development from a primary follicle to the secondary follicle, and eventually they reach at the mature stage, which is the Graafian follicle. Each follicle cells able to secrete estrogen. The growing follicles has lower number of follicle cells, which will produce low concentration of estrogen in the blood flow. The low levels of estrogen will give negative feedback to the anterior pituitary gland, which means it will inhibit the secretion of FSH and LH. This is why for a long period of time during the follicular phase, the concentration of LH and FSH maintained at low level. So, because of the low levels of estrogen, which give negative feedback to the anterior pituitary gland and produce low level of FSH and LH. Even though the concentration of FSH is low in blood, but is still able to stimulate the follicle growth in ovary. And by time, the concentration of estrogen will be increasing due to the increased number of follicle cells. When the concentration of estrogen becomes high in blood, it will give positive feedback to the hypothalamus, which means more estrogen concentration in blood secrete more GnRH by the hypothalamus, and the GnRH will secrete anterior pituitary gland to produce more FSH and LH. This is why we can observe that after a period of time, both hormone LH and FSH start to increase. And because of the high concentration of GnRH produced by hypothalamus, to stimulate anterior pituitary gland to produce more hormone of LH. And this will lead to the formation of LH surge, which means the concentration of LH increase rapidly during a short period of time. The main role of LH surge is stimulate the maturation of follicles in the ovary and stimulate the primary oocyte to continue or complete their meiosis I and produce the secondary oocyte and the first polar body. And it able to trigger the ovulation on day 14. Under the stimulation of high level of GnRH, anterior pituitary gland able to produce FSH and LH in higher level. But why LH will show much higher concentration compared to the FSH? There are two reasons to support this phenomenon why there is the occurrence of LH surge. First is the LH releasing cells in anterior pituitary gland are more sensitive to GnRH. This is why more LH hormone produced within a short period of time. And the follicle cells in the ovaries able to respond strongly to the LH hormone because they have high number of receptors on the membrane of the cell to the LH. So when a matured follicles develop in the ovary, means there are a large number of follicle cells found in the ovary. Each follicle able to produce estrogen. With the high level of estrogen, they give positive feedback to hypothalamus to produce more GnRH. And the GnRH able to stimulate anterior pituitary gland to produce more LH. And LH surge able to stimulate the ovulation on day 14, which means the secondary oocyte will be released into the fallopian tube when the follicles and the adjacent wall of the ovary rupture. Every month, only one secondary oocyte is released into the fallopian tube. So again, LH surge occurs before day 14, and the maximum level of LH achieved in blood will stimulate the ovulation occurs on day 14, which means the secondary oocyte will be released into the fallopian tube. And the follicle cells remain in the ovaries under the influence of the LH. It will be developed into the corpus luteum. This is why after the ovulation, the last phase in ovarian cycle is called as luteal phase because there is the formation of corpus luteum. Corpus luteum is a short-term or temporary endocrine gland which able to produce estrogen and progesterone. Corpus luteum able to produce high level of estrogen and progesterone. The combination of high level of these two hormones will give negative feedback to hypothalamus. Less GnRH secreted, less stimulation to anterior pituitary gland, and it secretes low level of LH and FSH during the luteal phase of ovarian cycle. And this is how our body designed to prevent more than one follicle developed during the ovarian cycle. However, if no fertilization occurs or no penetration of zygote into the uterine wall, the low level of LH will cause the corpus luteum to be disintegrated. Disintegrated corpus luteum can no longer secrete estrogen and progesterone, which cause the concentration of these two hormones decreases in blood system. It means that the negative feedback caused by the high level of estrogen and progesterone are not more found, or the negative feedback is removed. Therefore, the hypothalamus is able to produce GnRH, which means it's able to stimulate anterior pituitary gland to produce FSH and LH. With the increasing level of FSH, it initiates a new ovarian cycle, which means a new follicle development occurs. Remember that uterine cycle occurs concurrently with the ovarian cycle. Maksudnya, uterine cycle berlaku serentak dengan ovarian cycle. So, apabila corpus luteum disintegrate atau merosot, mereka tidak boleh menghasilkan lagi estrogen and progesterone. Ini menyebabkan they have low level of these two hormones. So, bila low levels of these two hormones, dia tak ada lagi negative feedback pada hypothalamus dan menyebabkan GnRH boleh dihasilkan. Dengan itu, FSH dan LH boleh dirembeskan oleh anterior pituitary gland. Dengan adanya FSH dan LH, bermula semula kita punya ovarian cycle, iaitu new follicles develop in the ovarian cycle. So, pada waktu yang sama, kita nak student faham ya, bila estrogen and progesterone low level, mereka punya target organ adalah uterus, atau kita kata the uterine lining, endometrium itu. So, bila estrogen and progesterone berada pada level yang rendah, dia menyebabkan the arteries, salur darah yang warna merah ini mengecut. Constriction of arteries in the endometrium. Endometrium means the lining of uterine wall. So, bila arteries constrict, they will reduce the blood supply to the tissue. Jadi, sel-sel dalam endometrium ni akan die off because they lack of oxygen and nutrient supply. So, at the end, the endometrium is shed or discharged through menstruation. Jadi di sini merujuk kepada anda, when there is the first day of the menstruation occurs, there is the day 1 of our uterine cycle. The second phase of uterine cycle is proliferative phase, which is stimulated by the increasing level of estrogen by growing follicle in the ovary, which means during the proliferative phase, the development of follicles happens in the ovaries also. So, dengan pertambahan follicle cells in the ovary, the concentration of estrogen increases slightly and become rapid at the end of the follicular phase in the ovary. Setiap kenaikan estrogen level in the blood able to be transported to the uterus and stimulate the cell division in the uterus wall. That's why kita kata proliferative, because the new cells will be formed to regenerate the thickness of the endometrium lining. So kita boleh nampak the level of estrogen is directly proportional to the thickness of endometrium wall. The last phase of uterine cycle is the secretory phase, which occurs after the ovulation on day 14. So at the same time, after the ovulation, there is the formation of corpus luteum in the ovary, which is able to secrete estrogen and progesterone. At the beginning of secretory phase, the level of estrogen is higher because they will stimulate the thickening of the uterine wall. But after a while, the level of progesterone become higher than the estrogen because the function of progesterone is to maintain the thickness of the endometrium wall to prepare the uterus for implantation. If you refer back to the last phase in ovarian cycle, which is the luteal phase, when no pregnancy or no implantation, the corpus luteum will be disintegrated due to low level of luteinizing hormone or LH. When corpus luteum disintegrate, they are unable to produce estrogen and progesterone, and this cause low level of estrogen and progesterone will cause the constriction of artery in endometrium. When the supply of oxygen and nutrients decreases to the uterine wall, they cause the menstruation occurs. This is how the first phase of uterine cycle starts, which is the menstrual flow phase. If pregnancy or implantation of zygotes at uterine wall occurs, with the formation of placenta, which able to produce human chorionic gonadotropin, which is HCG. This hormone able to maintain the corpus luteum, and the secretion of estrogen and progesterone will be maintained. However, when the embryo develops, the tissue to produce HCG will be disintegrated, and it causes a decrease of level of HCG in blood, and this will cause the corpus luteum to be disintegrated. But the disintegration of corpus luteum do not decrease the estrogen and progesterone. However, these two hormones will be maintained at high level is because now the secretion of these two hormones will be taken over by the fully developed placenta. Here's the table to summarize the hormones involved in the regulation of female reproductive cycle, which consists of uterine and ovarian cycles.